Now uploading new users. The administrators are excited to welcome you to a new experience. Entering World Replica. World Replica is a die RPG actual play produced by BaddieBards. Enter a realm where the extraordinary becomes reality. Are you ready? Before we log in, please listen to these terms of service. Content warnings are as follows: unreality, parental abuse, death, grief, loss of autonomy, zombies, parental loss of a child, and gun usage. Please be safe. Stand by for a system announcement.
This show is proudly recorded on Zencastr. When we first started recording our podcast, we had a lot of options. We needed a platform that could record and generate separate tracks and videos with a full suite of professional tools at our disposal. Zencastr does everything for us, and it'll do more for you. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code BaddieBards, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experience as I do for all my podcasting and content needs. And it's time to share your story.
Now logging on.
Hello. Thank you all for joining us today on this fourth episode of World Replica. And I am very excited to be here. My name is Queon. I go by Brother Queon across all of the internets, and I will be your administrator / game master today. But luckily, I'm not here by myself because I don't think you guys want to just hear me yap. My first wonderful player, Mac. How you doing?
Greetings and salutations. I am still Mac Epiphany. You can find me at all the places at Mac Epiphany and or Coco Mac Productions. And I will be playing Atticus / Echo tonight. I'm excited. Let's do the thing.
I too am excited. But we also have a couple other people here. So, Melvyn, what's up?
Hi, I am Melvyn. You can find me on socials as Cosmic Melvyn with Y's, no I's. And I'm playing Vestion, and I'm excited to get going in this story.
Beautiful, beautiful. Hey, Bluu, how you doing?
Hi, it's me. You can find me online as KingV_. That's King with a Y. I'm gonna be playing Hex, also known as Altair, and I don't know what to say about my boy today. Godspeed to that crazy little nigga.
Godspeed is wicked work. And last but certainly not least, we have Aetherius.
Hi. My name is Aetherius Bordeaux. I am at Vampire Himbo on most socials except for TikTok and Twitch. There I am Vampire_Himbo. Important difference there. Yes, I play Kai Robinson, and I also play Wraith, who I imagine has a lot of thoughts and feelings after episode 3. So I'm excited to explore what both of those are in the wake of some of those revelations. I'm excited for tonight.
Beautiful, beautiful. And with that, does anybody want to give us a recap?
I did it last time.
Yes.
So.
I still got my reroll, homie.
Yeah, listen.
I could do a recap.
I'm just saying, if you bank them up, they won't be bad.
You got this, Blue.
Oh, they can stack? Come on. That changes everything.
You're up, Blue.
I'm
about to start teaching y'all, so Melvyn, get ready for next week.
Yeah, real. So let me think. We wrapped up that fight that we had, right? One person. Oh no, or was that during? Did we have that fight that session? I think we had that fight that session.
With
yeah,
the
some niggas
fallen?
were banging down on. Yeah. Some niggas were banging down on Auntie Tamisa's door. We have to handle that. It was some really cool, like anime-esque ass shots. We had Vestion and Wraith like back to back shooting shit. We got to see a taste of Echo's power, which had people feeling a little way when he used it, so that was interesting. We came out of that nice and easy, frankly. We kind of did that. We did our big one with that. Lots of sixes. And we decided, and there was like this mysterious figure in a lavender suit who we clocked wasn't an NPC before the fight started, but like later when everybody came up from Hex's bunker, we decided to talk to this person, and it turned out to be fucking Joshua. It was a very emotional reconnecting for Joshua and Wraith. But then Vestion came in like, okay, but like, why are you here? So we were able to, finally get some answers out this nigga, because he wasn't really talking about shit. But as soon as he was about to open his mouth and actually tell us like how, why, who, will, and where, this woman came through the window. She was real cunt. She had like a really like black fucking pattern beaded dress, big ass like cunty brimmed hat. You already know she was mother. And she like waves a hand and this nigga fucking vanishes. After that, she's like, yo, my playthings are getting out of hand. I'm gonna have to teach him some rules. Like, we're gonna remedy that. Everybody immediately squares up with this bitch. Like, guns pointed at her, ready to use powers, etc. But we get a sense of like not being connected to our power. Like Hex's gun feeling like a toy gun that's like jammed. Echo like having lost his voice in that moment. It was some wild shit. And Wraith fucking did a really cool thing and used his access code to create a tether, like a red string of fate, if a nigga will, with this mystery woman that'd be beneficial for the group, but it'll also be beneficial for her. So we're gonna see what that entails for our group later. What else happened? I think that just about sums it up. Did I miss anything?
The only thing you missed, you did a phenomenal job.
It was Maya Sinclair. I forgot that part.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, that's right,
Big
Alex.
ass
I
bold
forgot
in
about
my
that.
notes. Yeah, so it was fucking Amaya Sinclair, Noah's mother.
We're going to pick up where we left off.
Please log in.
As Wraith is getting using this access code and being overrun with the information of the person in front of you, this very beautiful human in front of you, which is not an off-putting thing, seeing that there are a lot of humans here in Ouroboros, but in this particular bar, the closest thing to a human you have would be, I'm gonna have to say, Vestion, because everybody else got a little bit of something going on. This information is being downloaded and uploaded and retained, even though there are some blockages and things are missing. The final thing that comes into Wraith's head is just a signature block that says Amaya Sinclair, who happens to be Noah's mother. So what are y'all doing?
Is she still in the room with us?
Yeah, she's still just like twiddling her thumbs, like her hand's gloved, and is just like looking it over.
But the rest of us, Vestion, Hex, and Echo, don't know that this is Amaya. Anaya.
You do not know.
Do I still have no voice?
You want to try?
Yeah, I'm gonna open my mouth and see if I can say words.
Oh, sorry, you must want to speak again. And then she just like unzips your mouth, and you can start speaking again if you would like.
I like to straighten my tie. Like, what value do our lives hold for you?
Your lives? Absolutely nothing.
Then why do you want them?
I don't want your lives, I've told you. What I'm here for and what I'm after are your memories. As a lawyer, I thought you would be able to understand things a little easier.
Okay, then let me rephrase the question. How do you plan to get our memories if you plan to kill us?
Oh, you see this? And like she motions to the world, moves her fingers just a little bit, and it starts to glitch. This is mine. Where do you think you will go when you are finished with this? Do you think you'll log out? You think you'll get to go back home? Whatever ones and zeros and data make you 4-up, return to me.
All right. Then why not just do it now? Why are we having this conversation?
The way that her body language goes as you ask that, you can see that she is scowling. Her body completely tenses up. Now, why would I do something like that? Aside from getting the memories, I need you all to suffer just a little.
The fuck did we
Is
ever
there a
do to you?
particular reason? Well, yeah, that.
I'm gonna say that like after the tether is made between Wraith and this figure, that he has been like recovering. That the mechanical arm has like been glitching, and he has just now finally got it to where he has regained control. And after having listened for a little bit, he struggles to stand up.
You're back with us now?
Why? And he has this like look of like confused desperation. We all loved him. Why would you?
None of you loved him like I did.
Loved who?
Is there something we want to share with the class?
And without breaking eye contact with the veil, this is Noah's mother.
Jaw on the floor.
How did you figure it out?
Now I'm doubly confused.
Her veil kind of digitizes away. I think the part that hits you all the most about this is that this is the face that all of you remember. Vestion, when Amaya used to smile at you all when you were in her home, what did that smile feel like?
It felt like coming home to my parents baking me celebration pie every time I won an award. That's the warmth that I received in Maya Sinclair's smile.
That warmth is replaced by a frigid cold. It's nice to see you all again.
I don't think until this moment there has been much emotion registering on Echo's face. Like, since we got in here, the hurt and the confusion are like clear as day, because I feel like the love and the care and the sense of home that he didn't get with his dad, he got with Amaya. He and Noah grew up like brothers, almost. I think he's actually awestruck. He can't find words.
She kind of looks between all of you. I don't think... I'm so sorry. I've been a terrible host. I have done a terrible job of explaining why I needed you all here. If it wasn't for you all, my son would still be here.
Why?
What do you mean?
What did we do?
And I thought you brought us here?
Did you think a dead boy can send in message?
Hex fucking flares with anger right now. Ugh.
I think we see Ray silently drop to his knees at that.
Vestion just has so many questions and wants to just question what makes you say that he's dead? Why would you think that?
Or at the very least, why would you think we're responsible?
You were the last ones to see him.
Do you think we killed him?
I don't know what happened, but what I do know is that while you were all off living your lives, I have been in mourning every day. And with that mourning, I've done a little bit of work with my husband's creation here.
What kind of work?
The kind of work to bring my son home. And the last thing I need for that to happen are your memories. Because there's this thing about recreating life. You can make it look perfect. You can make it seem perfect. But the little things that made him him, those come from memories. And you can't. Mine aren't enough.
I know what you're trying to do. You know it's not gonna work, right? Our memories are just memories. If he's really dead and gone, that's not gonna bring him back.
And she like storms into your face in like an unnatural like speed. I thought you were very smart, but you don't know what you're talking about right now. Trust me, I've done enough work in these years that makes this possible. Look around you.
So, you can't read our ones and zeros unless we're gone? As the person running all this?
That's the sticking point. Thing about recreating life, it's something in that spark of losing it where you get everything.
There's like this visible click. You see this like nonverbal sign that there's been a revelation on Ray's face. You did all of this to get the four of us here to take our memories?
Yes and no. Creating Ouroboros, this was my husband's dream. Immortalizing Noah's memory.
Then why didn't you just trap us? Why did you trap everybody?
I told everybody to get out.
Alright, I have one last question. Do you think that if we were responsible for him disappearing, we would have come here at his request?
And as you ask that, she sort of like, her eye twitches ever so slightly. Frankly, no. He cared for you all deeply. And those precious memories that you hold of him and that he shared with you, that will get him back to me.
You and my mother were friends. You want her to feel the way you feel?
Honestly, you say that and she just does not respond. That's one of those moments where it's like you have kind of hit her in like a place where she was not prepared for that.
Look, I'll take that dub.
Yeah.
Vestion definitely wants to try to reason with her because he's like, they're just like, look, Mrs. Sinclair, you've known us for so long. We would never hurt Noah. Why would we do that?
So, here's the thing. Noah was always like not an outcast, but growing up, it was very hard for him to make friends outside of the family. And then the four of you all came along and gave him hope and something to actually want to do. Do I think you all killed him? No. Ambition, and she looks at Echo. Your drive, and looks at Vestion. Your hope, and looks at Hex. And your love, and looks at Wraith. Changed him? Absolutely. I had hoped for the better. But There's something about a mother's love for their child where we will do anything for them.
You would do anything for him. So you brought all of us here, caused all of this chaos and all of this mayhem and all of this pain and anguish, and realized that you now have a body count. Irrespective of if you think of it that way or not, there are people who didn't take that 3-minute warning you gave seriously and who are now worse than dead. And if there's like a fallen corpse within visual, like he will gesture to the fallen corpse.
That's a error in the code I am still working out. Thanks to your boyfriend, actually.
Let's be honest. It doesn't matter that we did it. Irrespective of any of that, you want something from us, our memories, apparently. And I understand that. We all grieved in different ways.
Yes, let's talk about the way we grieved. You turned my child's life into a book.
Echo's just kind of nodding along in agreement, like as discreetly as he can.
When everybody, including you, by the way, when the cameras left, when you stopped getting interviewed, when everybody seemed to move on with their lives, including you, right? Now you seem to be outside of this current psychosis happy, or you did before I met you today. I am the person who kept his name alive and who kept looking and who spent hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars trying to find your son. So for you to fix your mouth to tell me that, you know, does anybody have any further questions for Miss Sinclair? I personally feel done here. I'm ready to leave.
Yo, yeah, Hex has like been actively warring within themselves. Like, do I worry about getting us out of here, or do I worry about trying to kill this woman? Which one? And I think when Wraith says that, can I use? Oh, it's so early in the session though. Can I use Fool's Prep to summon like a teleportation scroll like out of my like home chest to get us at a distance away from her?
I'm gonna need a flat D20 to see if you can use your powers.
Okay, do we want highs or lows on this roll?
It's up to you. Call it.
I'm gonna call highs. I'll do highs.
Okay.
I got 13.
Counts as highs. As you are reaching out for your powers to bring something to you,
They like reach inside their jacket and like a little pocket.
She looks at you and just says, do you really think that that's going to work in a world of my creation, right?
I'm like, I'm a hacker, bitch.
Your pocket begins to give off a light blue glow. The same blue glow that enveloped Noah. And as you go into your pocket, you're able to pull out scroll, teleportation, a bomb, anything that will...
In Hex fashion, it would definitely be a cartoonishly large bomb, honestly. Like, you kind of ate with that. And I think Hex is like, we said we're done here. And they're just going to throw it's like a smoke bomb. They're going to throw it right in the middle of like our group so the smoke can just encompass us. And I don't know how this would work. I don't know if Hex could control where they go, or if it's like it unlocks a random fast travel point, maybe. I don't know.
This, You paint me a word picture of how it works.
Ooh, okay. So then after Hex throws the bomb on the floor, and it's definitely like a confetti, like strobe lights is within this smoke. It looks like a party in like smoke bomb form, like a fucking Blade Club or whatever. And it encompasses everybody. Hex is like, bitch, and like as the smoke covers them up. And it I think it digitizes us for a second. I think we feel you know how like if you looked at a map like on like a game or whatever, and it would have like lines going to like each point or whatever. I feel like if we can't, it's like an abstract idea I'm having, but like we digitize and go along those lines to maybe like it like pings, goes down, pings, so ping like goes like you looking at a map and it like goes up again like a squig, like, and it pings, and it is this like island. It's like tropical vibes. It's probably hot as fuck there. But it's, you know, like it's like a merchant town type vibe for this island, I think.
Beautiful, beautiful. So as you pull out this bomb and you set you give her like the finest of middle fingers as you're disappearing. The look on her face, because as you have like dropped this bomb, it has let up enough force that the air has pushed away her veil. She has a look of pure confusion, absolute gutter. I don't know how you are able to do this, and it looks like she is trying to reach for you all and hold you here. For a faint second, you can kind of see like an ounce of regret on her face. Your body's moving, and the world around you kind of, if you were moving at the speed of darkness, is how fast you were moving. You were moving from one waypoint to another waypoint to another waypoint to another waypoint until you fall back into your bodies and everything all coalesces back together, and you are on this mercantile island that I now have to create. You have left her in, and no one is here. So what you do not see is that she has thrown chairs, things, and she is looking at her hands like, I had them. They were right here. And she makes a motion with her hands and snaps, and life runs back into Auntie Tamisa's bar, and she is no longer there. What are y'all doing on this beach?
Staring at the water.
I was gonna say, I think Wraith is on his back. However, he like materialized on the beach is identity. He's not moved. He's not like deigned himself to move. He is on his back, staring at the digital skybox, doing his best to dissociate in this moment, trying to go into some place that isn't like the present reality. He, I think, is reeling from what just happened. And I think it's that thing when like the implication that he didn't care about Noah, especially after, like he said, he feels like he kept looking and he kept this flame alive long after others moved on or seemed to have some kind of like level of acceptance. Like the indignance of that, like the hurt, the anger of that, I think is still fresh for him as he just staring at the sky.
I think Hex is fighting the sand. They're kicking it. They're fucking like on their knees. Like they punch it a couple times and they're screaming. They're like, fuck, 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 fuck. And they are just kind of expressing their frustration in that way. They currently don't know how to handle like this fucking world's equivalent of a god with their maxed out class. Like they don't fucking know how to handle that shit at all. This wasn't in the game. This isn't supposed to be here. This isn't supposed to be happening. And so, yeah, I think this is more of a Altair, like in the real world, will probably go home and cry and like sad drink over it. But I think they're just like not pushing that emotion down, that rage, and they're just like exercising it through their body. They're like kicking the sand's ass.
Vestion has at this point just kind of fallen back on the sand, just sitting there, kind of like hand on their head, just trying to figure out like what the fuck just happened, why this happened, and just trying to figure everything out. They're just like kind of talking to themselves, like rumbling through all the thoughts like out loud and quickly, like, I don't understand, like, but I thought it was Noah and it's actually his mom, but she thought it was us and now she wants our memories, and just kind of keeps fumbling around with the words. And they kind of takes a moment to breathe and is like, just kind of looks at the group, looks at everyone, is like, what are we supposed to do next?
At that particular question, which is like the important one, Echo kind of like chokes down all of the emotion that's like wisping off into the ocean. And, you know, he turns around, hands in his pockets. We figure out how to win. I don't know a whole lot about this game. And I don't even know if it's possible to beat a game master. But that's what we got to do.
Wraith, you are definitely someone who plays this game a lot. I feel like you're gonna have a lot of insight for us, and now we're kind of living in it, and we could use some thoughts on what would be the best step to take next.
You hear a heavy breathing. Wraith gets up on his elbows as he lays down, and he looks over to the group with this like level of exhaustion, and in Vestion like asking his insights. It's like called him from the dissociative fog. He was in, he was like, fuck, oh my god, now I gotta be a person and deal with like real life again. Well, I mean, Echo is right on one point. We keep moving. We obviously can't stop, but we need to be smart. I don't know how Joshua is connected to this, but something tells me it has to do something with this character in particular. You see him gesture at his body. There are a lot of things about WhisperWraith that don't make sense, and something tells me that we're going to need to be firing on all cylinders to take on whatever she is. So I'm going to just toss this out there, Vestion. Not all of us have divine connections. I guess, I don't, no offense to the Fair. Is it the Fair? The Fair. No offense to the Fair, but they are not the most reliable. I can't exactly hit them on speed dial in the way that you can your proprietor. I don't know what language you use, but I mean, if there was a time to call it a favor from a god, this seems apt. This seems like it'd be a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to definitely call in. I think I've got some accumulated like +1 of god debt, so I'm pretty sure that I can reach out to either Lila or another god and see if there's something they can do for us. I feel like that might be an idea. You're right. But just so you know, it's not just me who has these gods' power behind me. Like, we're a team. We're gonna get through this together, all of us.
As you say, we're a team. You're gonna see Wraith crush a piece of like, no, I forgot. He doesn't crush it. You're gonna see him put a piece of fair gold in the slot that's in the back of his neck, And as it does, as you see, like the coin is going down the mechanisms, there's this little kind of like light that goes down as you see it kind of go down his spine as it lights up. And his eyes and the cybernetic bead that he has, that is in the coils that make up like the dreads that he has, light up. And he is going to snap, and with a zoop is the sound I'm going to assign to it. We are going to see out of the void unfold the sleek metallic body of everyone's favorite cybernetic panther. The one and only Kira.
Kira comes out and kind of shakes off the being frozen and looks around, and the surround is like, this isn't where we were.
I was going to say, how much of that did you see?
What do you mean? What happened?
Oh, God. Okay.
Last I saw, we were in combat.
Yeah, and then just a lot happened. We learned that the person behind a lot of this is somebody from our collective past. Lots of revelations. It's been a very long day. Very, very long day, Kira. It's good to see you, but I do have, and he's gonna like do a behind the ear scratch at this because it is good to see Kira, but he also does need a thing right now. Like this is pressing. So he scratches behind the ear.
The scratch is just like, yeah.
Yeah. So look, we need your help. If the four of us are going to do what's necessary to eventually get out of here, which I assume, and he realizes that they haven't discussed that in a while, and so he trails off a little bit and looks at the group, which I assume that we all is still the central plan is to leave, escape, right?
Are we trying to escape the entire game? Because I feel like we tried this.
Well, I mean, true, we did try and it didn't go great, but I just mean in general, that is like the hope, right? Like the overall goal.
It's either that or staying here under Amaya.
Yeah, which I don't plan to do. So if we're going to do that, we're going to need every advantage that we have, which means bringing out the big guns. And then he goes from scratching behind the ear to under the chin. You, Miss Kira, are the biggest guns of them all. So we need your help. We need your advanced artificial intelligence. If we want to square up against somebody with deity-esque powers in this world, what's the, I guess, best place to start?
Hex was gonna say we could kill her and take back control of Ouroboros Online. But I think Hex kind of borrows Altair's ear for a second. They're like, we shouldn't. They won't. Look at them. Nobody said they wanted to stay. Don't say that. Just continue with this journey and see what happens. I think Altair is like weighing it like, but what, I mean, maybe they'd be into the idea, but then like this thought, it just continues to intrude, like they wouldn't get it. They have what they want and out there. They are happy out there. So just kind of like on some just bid your time type shit. So I think they like raise a finger and they're like,
Vestion stands up on that note and goes, but do we have to kill her right away?
We don't know that killing her will fix anything. I feel like we need that confirmation first, right? Not that I'm like not to, she did all of this. She murdered how many people just to get the four of us here? But I think that if we're going to do that, she's the only person as of now that we know definitively knows how we got here and potentially might know how we can get out. So I agree that maybe she is a problem to be dealt with and like a box to check off our to-do list, but we're going to need answers before that, and we need to figure out what to do in the interim.
Vestion just is nodding in agreement. Yes, exactly. I completely agree with what you're saying, Wraith.
How about for now we look for somewhere to crash?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Kira, you're not off the hook.
Why?
I'm looking for your sagely advice.
Well, and she kind of like, her eyes kind of glow a little bit, and you see behind them that there's just like data running through. One of the possibilities is murder, killing her. Just like, killing her is an option. However, the alternatives to that is we would not know what that means for you all. You may be stuck here, and the world may crash, but we're not sure what that would mean. Other option is, and she like pauses, you could also beat the game, and that might also fix what is stopping this. And because as she's going through is like what she sees, and like by proxy, Wraith would also see that it's like whatever is going on seems to have not put a stagnation on the world, but it feels like a lot of things are in stasis. Like the events that were like should have happened aren't happening. Like the things that are scheduled to go off aren't going off right now. But if everybody is still able to move around and do like their day to day, but it just feels like a little off.
None of this is great. Hex like begins to walk towards the town and look for somewhere that we can all crash.
Beautiful. So yes, as you all are walking into this, I won't say like the fanciest of beach towns. This is like a moderately wealthy town. In terms of where this would be in relation to the starting city, a ferry's ride would get you back to the starting city. If you guys wanted to hop back on and head back, that's a possibility, but there are also ferries that would take you to other places as well. But as you go through, you can see that there, from what it looks like, there's other people who are getting like their bearings as well, and it feels like there's players who are just looking around, and there are some who are just like still joking around and acting like nothing has happened. And you come across an entire bazaar where it's so many things being sold. There's a lot of people just hawking things. There's someone selling fish. There's Jerome over there in the corner. He's selling that, the illicits. But there's also a inn that you could stay in off to the side. And this one, Wraith, you named this one.
Ooh, let me think. Give me like the vibe. What do I see when I look at this? I need to like. It's got to have that flavor. It's got to have that personality.
The flavor. It's got to have the things. So what you see, it's sort of like it's very bungalow style. Everything here has thatched roofs. It is very breezy in here. And what you would end up staying in would be more of a bungalow style. That would overlook the water, by the way.
There are two names I'm thinking of, and I put these forward to the group. One of them is stupid, which is the Sticky Wicket, which is just the first thing that came to my brain. And the other is Mother's Embrace. And I kind of like the second one.
I like Mother's Embrace, but there's definitely a bar in there somewhere named the Sticky Wicket.
No, the Sticky Wicket is the strip club. That's in this town. Yeah.
But yes, as you walk towards Mother's Embrace, to hopefully get a room, like anything to rest after this has happened to all of you, you open the door, and as you walk in, it's very it's really welcoming, because everybody is like having a really good time. There's there's a bar off to the side, so you have your people who are drinking, going crazy, and then you kind of just see like a couple other people walking around, and the bartender is like a horned human, but not like your typical just two horns swirling up. They have like a crown of very small spiked horns, red skin, devilish little grin, you know, and it looks like they're running this entire place right now. Y'all some newcomers?
No, I feel like Hex has definitely like been to this island before. They're like,
Hex,
nah,
that's you?
we've been around before. Hey,
Come over here, give me hugs. And like as you have been here before, this is the NPC, but their name is Fiero.
they're like, Fifi, how's it going? How's the business?
It's going good. You see, it's a good night here. Which you brought a party? You joined a party?
I am, after the events that just transpired for us. And they like look to the rest of the group like, do you
Can we get high?
I said,
I'm saying that as Wraith.
Have you joined a party? Not are you trying to party?
I think that if Hex said that out loud, that would have been Ray's question. Would have been like the logistics. We don't like.
Hex absolutely heard that wrong, and that's why they did that. Yeah.
The last thing we did was drink. Like, and then we just hopped straight to another bar. Like,
I
this
didn't
making
finish
fun of me.
That was the after the combat bar, but they're like, so I mean, if you would like to partake in the first festivities, you can, but he kind of looks over you all and is just like, y'all look like shit.
Yeah, the world is weird now. Is it weird to you? Hex is like trying to suss out like how our NPCs like receiving the changes going on.
The only thing that's a little weird is that we've got a couple extras who just keep filtering in, and we're running low on rooms now because there's so many people. But that's about it.
Shit. Do you have enough rooms for us?
Yeah, I think we can scrounge up a couple for y'all, but how many are we looking at?
Hex like looks up and then like looks like squints at everybody else, and they're like, so do you all want separate rooms, or should we do two to a room? how are we doing this?
When you look at it, this is an awkward situation.
Are there enough rooms for all of us?
No, I'm so sorry.
Can we get two?
Let's see what we got here. And he like opens up like this giant thing where there's supposed to be keys, and then it is bare. It is empty until like the very bottom, like the bottom right, where it's like he's going through every room very methodically. There are literally 2 keys left. I cannot guarantee the state of these because the party just left, and we haven't had an opportunity to clean it. But if you are more than willing.
Heck snatches them and with a very like big, like wide grin, like this will do. Thank you. And what type of scrubs you got at the bar tonight? Because I got my dice with me. They have like dice that they can cheat with. And so they're like who's looking
Piero leans in, is like, you can't ask about that right now. But all right, there's 2 suckers over there that came in here a little bit ago. I've already been feeding them drinks. I didn't expect for one of my best sharks to be in here. But listen, if you get them for what they got, room's on me.
That.
And the 2 that he points out are like, they are the most obnoxious, like, PC characters that you've ever seen, and it's just like the multiple different colors hair mismatched items, because I don't care how it looks, because it has like the best stats that I have right now. Fashion. And they have not gone to the dye shop yet, so it looks really tacky. But
that's the greatest sin for Hex. They like took their cowboy hat down. They're like, I'll handle them for sure. But also, since I made niggas laugh, can I add a circle to my die?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Each of you can have 1 interaction outside of this room if you want to, or you can have group interactions with each other and yap about some things, uncover some mess, and then we will go into our downtime activities.
I feel like let me know what you think, group. I think we do the classic, like we have a debrief conversation, the 4 of us, and then I imagine in that conversation is when the room assignment happens, and then we go to the rooms. What do y'all think about that?
That works for me.
Down for that.
Cool. So yeah, do you want to do this debriefing out here and where there are prying ears, or are you trying to have a little private convo? So the first room you go into, it looks as if it like there's nothing like overtly wrong with this. It's like there's just like a bag of trash next to the door where somebody has dropped it for waiting for housekeeping. But for the most part, it looks like a very clean room. It has 2 like queen beds, and it looks pretty well nice. There's a little kitchenette off to the side where you can go and like have a table conversation, make dinner if you want to, all that great stuff. So yeah,
I'm gonna say that Kira curls up on one of the queen beds when we enter the room.
Hex unlocks the door to the area immediately. Like, so what the fuck was that? Why?
Which part?
All of it. All of that shit. Joshua being here, Noah being here, but from our understanding, or my understanding of her words, not by her means. Because if he was here by her means, she would have no need to continue looking for him. No? Or
No,
seeking
that
our
was her.
fucking memories.
She pretended to be Noah.
I think it was her. She pretended to be
That was
him.
all her. She pretended to be him.
And I think that
No, like,
version of Noah we saw is what she's trying to
manifestation.
sophisticate.
So you all think the Noah that came to see us, not the one that emailed us, but the one that actually came to see us, was under her control? Their effects, their special effects didn't even look the same. When I pulled that out of my pocket, my smoke bomb, it didn't glow with my usual effects that I have on my account. You know what I'm saying? It was different. It looked like they like throw their hands up and like lump, like fall into an armchair with their arms crossed, like very pouty, like their leg is shaking. They're just like, none of this shit makes fucking sense.
Vestion kind of walks over towards where Hex is and it's like, you know what? I have to agree. Honestly, there's something different about the one that came to us. Maybe originally it started as Mrs. Sinclair, but What if Noah's actually still out there? What if he's in the game? Wouldn't we want to find him? Find out the truth?
I don't know. It seemed like the whole point of her whole monologue was that she wanted our memories to make better this like weird puppet version of Noah that she's created here. And so my thinking is that if the real thing was here, if it was within her realm as she put it, or within her reach, why wouldn't she be going for that? Why would she need our memories if the real thing was here? That's why I think that.
Maybe she doesn't know
Maybe she's
he's
not aware
here.
of it. Exactly. I don't think she is aware of it. She seemed surprised when I pulled that out of my pocket. Because I don't know about y'all, but when she popped up, my guns wouldn't fucking work. So I don't see why my bomb did.
Yeah, and I lost my connection to Lila at that time too, so there was definitely something weird happening with her.
I don't know.
What about Joshua?
What about
Yeah,
Joshua?
one of her playthings?
Let's keep it a buck. He's working for her.
I don't know. We have no way of knowing who is real and who isn't. And in the same way that the Noah that we saw may or may have not been, and I'll admit there's some like ambiguity there, our actual Noah. I thought that was Joshua, but I could be wrong. I'm not willing to trust anything, including my own eyes at this point, which is a fun new state of paranoia to live in. And you see Wraith kind of like stare off into the middle distance. This has been a rough day, and I think Kai is bleeding into Wraith insofar as Kai is somebody who under like extreme stress implodes instead of explodes, and we're starting to see some of that implosion happening. Like there's the water on the surface is still, but there's this like undercurrent happening as at some point you just can't take this many revelations back to back to back. Like your jaw can only spend so much time on the floor. So yeah, I don't know if that was Joshua or not, but for my own sake and just so that I can try to find something even approximating peace while we're here, I'm going to assume that it wasn't until proven otherwise. That wasn't Joshua. That wasn't Noah. Who knows where the real Joshua and Noah are.
Are you feeling that way about Amaya? Do you not think that was actually Amaya?
I think as Hex answers that question, there's like a little bit of a holographic flare around the wrist where the bracelet is that he used to draw the connection with Amaya. It's almost like when you are doing like an animation for something and you cancel it kind of like cancels the animation. It starts and then like stops itself. And there's something in him, this like certainty that he has that he can't explain and doesn't know like the source of, but he knows and like solemnly nods, like without a doubt that was Amaya. I can tell you that much.
Then Hex will say like, okay, Kira mentioned beating the game could be a way that we get out. You win the game by making sure your faction wins and like beats the Dark Army. But she has access to everything. So how do we fight that? I mean, and also no shade, but y'all are pretty low level. The amount of time it's gonna take us to grind and get y'all levels up and hide from her is gonna be a really long time. I don't know.
What I will say is, with the information that Kai has the ability of accessing now, if they were to look into that data, they would be able to figure out more things about what she can and what she cannot do.
Look at the game privileges.
Mm-hmm.
We see Kai, because when we see Wraith. I'm gonna flavor this in this moment because I like the idea of this. That in order for like Wraith to hack and to access the systems that he does as his class, like the Neo, and to access all of the back end stuff, the character Wraith within the game has to reach like a near meditative state, and so we would see him get very calm and focus. And like as he becomes more and more focused, this kind of holographic like floating UI would come more and more into frame. And finally, when he would open his eyes after them being shut, they would be the same color as the UI, which is the same color as a little dread bead. And all of these windows would pop up and would fly around, and we would see them almost like just moving and scrolling at way too fast a speed for like the eye to follow. We see kind of like the gloss over his eyes, and he reverse, I guess, search the like, I have this connective thread that I know and I can't explain, and I want to see what happens when I pull on it.
I will need 2 rolls from you. 1 intelligence pool. Actually, both of them are going to be intelligence, and you can add your Neo die to both of them.
8. 2, a 1, a 2, and a 6.
Said you got a 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Love those. Let me know what that second one is.
Second one is 2, 1, 2, 4, and then with the D10, that's a 10.
As you are combing through these endless files in here, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, this is why I had to rip this band-aid off now to actually build y'all back up. That's it. Okay. That's why we have a goal to reach without like feeling like sorry. But yes, as you are sitting here and like digging through all of these files and windows and looking at the intricacies of this information that you now have, as you're combing through, you come across a file, and it looks like it is her account and like her admin privileges. And what you see is that she's only an admin level 2. There are 4 levels of an admin, and level 4 is the highest you can go. She is only a level 2. So her saying that this is her world, something's not adding up with that.
You see Wraith kind of take, twist, and pull up the kind of holographic of the information that is shared that he was just looking at, and he kind of moves it like it is a window on over and puts it in front of the group, and it scrolls down a bunch of different information, and there are a bunch of different like screenshots of Amaya that it appears to have taken it, etc. And it goes all the way down to her access level, and when that pings up, he takes that part and makes that bigger. So I didn't learn a lot, but one thing that I do think is important that we realize, that you see him point at the access level 2 that's hovering to his right, is that her whole omnipresent God spiel was bullshit. She has basic, I think she's maybe a level higher than Joshua was. So this is not her world. She did not orchestrate this. to the extent that I think she said she did. Maybe she's in cahoots with whoever did it, but with that access level, she would not have the power to like turn this world on its heel, like whoever is behind this did. So, I
Well,
mean,
that's great fucking news. Because, look, one thing we know is this, though. We can tell players apart from the Fallen. We know that Joshua was a player before we even clocked that it was Joshua. Joshua achieved some level of admin access to do the little fuck shit he did. How can we achieve admin level access? Problem solved.
And as you continue combing through all of this, you also get like a Ouroboros online like company registry of like the executives. Joshua is on like he's one of the heads of like infrastructure, but there are also like 4 or 5 other names on that list as well, including Amaya's.
Okay, this complicates things. Let's walk this back a second. When Amaya said that she brought us here, I mean, it didn't make sense, but part of it did, right? It at least gave us some direction, somebody to chase after, a direction to go into. But if Amaya didn't bring us here, that really puts us at square zero. I mean, not saying we shouldn't pursue her. I think that we should, but I don't know that she is the person behind this. I think that there's somebody that is sitting above her, certainly not necessarily beside her. It doesn't feel lateral. It feels like she's lower on in the ring. So
Just
who is this
because
big
she
fish?
isn't the highest person on the food chain doesn't necessarily mean she isn't responsible for bringing us specifically here.
I could absolutely see her using Noah's email account to reach out to us and lure us here. But I think there are more hands in this pot than we think. It's not just her hand. I think and Hex doesn't know what to think. Like, was this version, they fully believe that the Noah that they came into contact with was Noah. I think they are feeling solid in that belief, but they're like, it's still not Noah's physical body, you know what I mean? So like, what exactly is this? Is this like an AI, like an intelligent AI of Noah? Like, is this her programming that she's been trying to build of Noah gone rogue, or what? They aren't sure. We in like data, it's just too many like variables at work. And I think Hex will say it could even be that the Noah we saw was maybe made by Mr. Sinclair. Like maybe she said that this world was made like in memory of Noah to like, you know, immortalize him or whatever. Maybe there was a version of Noah that Mr. Sinclair made and put in the game as like an Easter egg almost. I don't know.
I mean, I can't say that isn't what happened. There's definite possibility that, like, I don't know. It would make sense then why he would be so young, and that one of his parents, whether it was the mom or the dad, would create him in the vision that they last saw him in. But I think that and you see Wraith end up with some purpose, and he turns to the group. I think I have an idea. I don't know what this is going to tell us, but I think it's the direction that we should be heading in. Can you each stand up for me? And he gestures to the room.
Hex like stands up immediately.
Yep. I think Echo was already standing.
Vestion was kind of leaning on the wall and just kind of groans and goes, okay.
Okay. Kira, and he like ruffles Kira's to like wake Kira from the bed. Wake up, wake up.
Stretches. Yes.
All right, so the only lead he says to the group that we have right now is that for whatever reason, Amaya seems to have a vested interest in our 4 characters specifically for whatever she thinks that she'll be able to pull for them, which means that there's likely something different about the 4 of us. And so if we're able to figure out what that is, and if there is something that makes these characters distinct, it might give us some insights into why she wants us so bad, or ideally who's behind all of this. And so my idea, Kira, and he nods over, and I'll have Kira like kind of like pounce on the ground and sit at the floor like next to him. I think that we should have Kira look through all of our characters. I think we should have Kira scan each of them. And above table, what I'd like to do, if this is okay mechanically, I'd like to use a fair gold to overcharge Kira for this, so that Kira can look deep into the code of each of our characters. And right now, Wraith is like really just casting a wide net. He's looking for anything that would make these characters like stand out, or that would justify the interest and obsession that it seems that Amaya has about these 4 in
Hex
particular.
will speak up and say, hey, can Kira scan for the code that made our exit buttons malfunction and maybe see who the author of that code specifically was?
Ooh, that's a good question. As you ask Kira to look into these things, she sort of pauses, and looks at Wraith, slightly confused as what she's looking for, but proceeds and like goes to Vestion first, and just like does a full like body scan. Like lights start emanating around you and just like scanning your entire form, and then they come back inside Kira, and she begins processing it. And while that's processing, she goes over to Echo, and then follows suit and heads to Hex and finishes off with Wraith. It all happens within like matter of seconds, because she is data, this is data. And what you get back from her: 3 anomalies detected.
3?
We'll split them out, girl.
Wraith
What
looks
are they?
confused at the group. Who are they?
Anomalies detected within Hex. Anomalies detected within Echo. Anomalies detected within Vestion. It seems as if you 3 have a difference in your codes. I'm not sure of how to decipher it yet, but I am looking into it. But and she looks up to Wraith. Master, it looks like you had a code, but it is no longer here.
You know, Kira, I'm realizing that in the heat of everything that's happened since we got here, I've never had a chance to ask you this. What was your last conversation with Joshua?
Fuck.
God
God damn it.
I love when you can make the DM say fuck. I love it.
My last conversation with Joshua, who was former WhisperWraith, was that when or if a new WhisperWraith was given access to his account, that I would protect them from former WhisperWraith. 2 weeks of a time skip of you all living in Ouroboros, where you've kind of picked up a routine, you've come to your own day-to-day shenanigans, and you're also living with the information that you have just received. So, how's everybody doing? A collective sigh.
So, I feel like Echo has gone into full business mode. Like, there is no how Echo's doing. Echo isn't doing. Echo's just working, trying to grind, trying to get up money, trying to get up levels, trying to figure out what to do next.
This is during the time skip?
Yes. This is just like how you're coping and what you're doing.
Well, Vestion and Wraith have definitely been doing upgrades together.
Yeah.
Yes, that's dope. I think Hex would have definitely went back downstairs to swindle them niggas out of like some rare equipment they may have had. So that for sure. And I think they also would have at some point talked to Addie, because they are still they're basically like running everything that has happened like in their head and just kind of taking mental notes on it. And I think it is a lot of them kind of just talking back and forth in their head, like, you know what I mean, like answering yourself like with like your questions and shit. And they are like running back through a scene of fighting the Fallen and having that burst of like admiration for Addie when they haven't felt anything close to that for that nigga in years. So they're like, where the fuck did that come from? And they know like Addie did share his class and they had never heard of it before either. So I think there is a time where when if Addie's like outside like training, maybe like killing slime, I don't know, some shit like that, they absolutely like will kind of just come from beside, like from behind the tree. Like very dramatic. They just like slide over with their hat tilted like around this fucking tree behind him, and they're like, so the dictator class, right?
Yeah. Kill slime with the 5-finger death touch.
What? I've never heard of that class before. What are your... Do you have a spell list? Are you melee? Like, what's the deal? I didn't see you with a weapon.
So, I don't really get weapons or spells. Most of the power comes from my voice. It's kind of an influential thing. I'm still kind of learning it. By the way, over the time, the tattoos on the back of his hand have gotten lighter, so it really just looks like bones, white bones tattooed on the back of his palms. But yeah, basically, it can make people do what I want. I'm not sure how to explain it.
I don't like that. Hex like says that out loud. Like, I don't like that. That doesn't feel great. You can make people feel things to such a degree they would die from it. Is that like that? I'm understanding that correctly, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I had to kind of learn to rein that in. When I did it back when we were fighting the fallen people, that was kind of a test. And yeah, I definitely have to control the modulation of it, because if it's too strong, it could make somebody die. Good to know, right?
It is good to know. Hex is not fucking smiling. They are like, deeply frowning from this information, and so they will just take the chance. Like, they almost don't want to ask this because they're like, we know Atticus. Like, let's, you know what I mean? Like, we know what he may be capable of and what he is not. But like, a voice, like another voice hisses, like, you thought you did until you got told what you told, until you found out he. And then it just, it just leaves at that, and they're like, okay, you ate that, girl. Did you use that on us during the fight? Did you use that on me?
No. I've never used it on any of you. And I wouldn't.
Hex will nod. And we'll say, yeah, you should keep practicing. Get a handle on that thing. I never want to be made to feel something like outside of my control. Something I'm not actually feeling. They like shudder a little bit. Kind of shakes it off, and they'll start walking away.
Kills another slime.
As Hex brings this up to you, Echo, the fact of like your class not being a standard, and also that your powers made people feel things and change, as you have been like getting a better handle on it and getting a better feel of what this power actually means for you and what it can do, in the back of your mind, and this is something that you have not mentioned to anyone else yet, your power feels very familiar to what Amaya was doing.
Interesting.
Vestion, how you doing, stink a butt?
Oh, processing. Oh, yeah, Vestion's been kind of like diving into like studying everything they can about their gods, and they're grinding. Like, they're just hyper focused on the game at this time. Like, they're trying to make sure that they can do everything they can to, help out their friends for whatever decision, whatever we decide to do next. Yeah, but Vestion's definitely like getting a little bit burnt out. Like, you can see, like, they're like, I don't know, like, this is feeling like a little too much.
So as you are going through what feels like the motions and what feels like just trying to get a grip on your new reality, you notice that there have been other players who have also been like sort of getting their bearings and trying to understand what this now means, because it has hit them that they also can no longer log out. There is like a small OO's Anonymous group who is just like, hey, how do we deal with this? What are we gonna do? And because of that, there has been like a bigger push for people to want to finish the game. And with that, guys have gotten a whole lot more worshippers, like a routine amount of them actually. So Lila will speak to you during one of your times, and you tell me, does she come to you in dreams, or is it like Raven Baxter here?
It's more like it's in a waking state, but it's more like a glimmer or like you can see it almost like through the codex of the game almost. It kind of just pops up, right? Like you can see it's not really like she's not really there, but you can still see her like show up there. And that's usually how the visions of her come through.
Beautiful. This particular day, I feel like you might be praying, or you might be out doing doing some work with our favorite cousin Skeeter. And you see off in the distance, like you hear like the clanging of armor being made. You hear like the squelching sound of when you are quenching a blade for the first time, and you see Lila's visage. And oddly enough, as a god of this place, Lila forms before you, but she doesn't seem as jovial as normally, and she doesn't seem hurt. But it seems like there is a worry that is going on within her. Vestion.
Yes.
Where have you been?
I've been busy working. I've had to grind and level up in here so that I can work with the group and try to beat this game.
Okay. I was just concerned. Another one of...
Is something wrong?
I lost one of my binders yesterday. And for a second, I was concerned that the same thing might have happened to you, because I haven't heard much. And I... I was worried. I am sorry.
What happened to the other binders?
They were speaking of being stuck in a simulation, and these wild allegations, and they were asking me to help them break free. But I do not understand that them being in a simulation, this is beyond me. And I understand, like, as a god, that makes absolute zero sense, but are your people well?
That's really, really complicated. I think that if you already suspect that there's something beyond your knowledge, then maybe it's something that they're grappling with, but you didn't exactly answer my question about what happened to them.
They lost in a battle. They were trying to keep the snake at bay. And in that, they lost themselves. But the reason why they even did it, that was the more concerning portion, because it seemed as if they were losing a piece of themselves. And they had there was a frenzy in them that I've only seen in prisoners.
You are the god of the forge, and I would never want to say anything to upset you, to concern you in any way. But have you considered that there might have been some truth to what they were saying? Vestion's kind of shuffling right now, a little panicked and nervous.
And as the way she kind of looks at you is a way of sort of admiration for asking this in front of her. She's like, the thing about gods is we may have strong powers and domains that we can bend to our whims. But there's only so much that we can actually touch, which is the reason why we have you all. So my understandings of what your world actually means, at least now, are rather limited. So this idea of us being in a simulation, I can't comprehend that.
I cannot even imagine how universe-shattering the thought of that must be for a god to be experiencing right now. So I don't think that I have the words to comfort you, unfortunately. But not that you're seeking comfort. You are God. You wouldn't be seeking that. And then Vestion's just kind of like mumbling and like stumbling over their words. They don't even know what to say at this point. They're just like, look, okay, I am not trying to upset you.
You have
just
not
think...
upset me, Vestion.
So I have a question for you then.
Yes.
Let's say that this is the truth, that we're trapped. Would you, or maybe even any of the other gods, be able to help us escape?
As you ask this, are you asking... You're asking for escape. Where would you escape to?
Where we all came from.
You are currently blowing a god's mind. I can speak with my siblings, but there is no guarantee that any of them would be willing to help. Even the notion of this, the only reason I am even entertaining it is because I like this tale that you are spinning. But any of my other siblings, they would see this as blasphemous.
I am filled with immense amounts of gratitude for you even accepting this conversation and this question. And Vestion's kind of just like nervous, kind of like backs up a little bit.
I have a soft spot for you. I'm sorry.
Well, I want to say thank you, and I know this is probably gonna stir up some trouble with the other gobs, maybe, so maybe don't mention my name, just, just in case. If possible.
A piece of advice that I think many of our binders forget You can always ask any of us for assistance, but you have specific God's favor, and the others will take far more from you than I. So if there's ever a time that my answers are not enough, you can ask my siblings, but be warned, their price is steep.
Well, that is very useful information. Thank you so much. And just for the record, my goddess, you are my absolute favorite. And that's why I always come to you, you know?
Flattery will get you everywhere. And she kind of goes and rubs Skeeter, and as she's rubbing Skeeter, like she starts to dissipate. Hex, in this time frame, do you ever go back to your hideout, or do you all stay here in on this island?
Hex goes back probably the next day, honestly.
Okay.
They would offer for whoever wanted to come with them, and they would definitely mark it on everybody's map and like a route that they can go like safely. Like, you know, if you keep low like to this underbrush, the pirate mob out there won't get you. You can avoid them. Just, you know, big like wide, you know, wide strides, okay? But they definitely like would go back like first thing in the morning. Because Hex has this kind of like weird parasocial relationship with these bits of pixels. So they're like, I need to go check on Auntie Tamise and my shit. So that's, yeah, they're definitely going back.
I ain't with that splitting the party shit. So like, if Hex is going back, I am strongly advising everybody to go back.
Okay. Okay, we will unpack this little present that you have given me very shortly. Kai, how has life been for you since?
I think that there was something almost like it's a thing of like when you have kind of hit rock bottom, when you kind of have had every little glimmer of hope either slapped out of your hand or just like taken from you. Really, truly, sincerely, the only place to go from there is up. And I think that like Kai has probably to an unhealthy degree put a lot of the same intensity and energy that he would have put into like the work that he did when he was like, you know, doing the investigations and hosting his podcast, or when he was looking for Joshua initially. Like all of that kind of obsessiveness has now shifted gears, and I think that we would see that. So Joshua, the original WhisperWraith, I'm going to say, has this very, very interesting player housing. So there is an alcove, and you walk into this cave, and there's kind of like in the cave, there's this pool where there's like a light in the center coming out of the water. You know, when the light kind of casts the visions of the water, very like underwater grotto, like, you know, energy. And when you walk into this, and when Wraith has Kira come out specifically, Kira does something, and we see the waterfall that's in the alcove start to flow backwards. And then it starts to like glitch out. It glitches out of existence in these purple little glitches. And we see that there is an entrance into this space, which is just this alcove little place, this little quiet place away from everything where Kai has been staying. I'm going to say, and you let me know if this is okay, I want to say that Joshua, in the course of Joshua's investigation, figured out a way to print out screenshots, what would be screenshots, like in-game. I like for Kai to have some like pictures that he has taken.
Pictures of...
So this is the thing. I have an idea that has come to me. I'm going to take a
Okay.
big swing because I think this is super interesting.
Yeah, you swing. I might hit it out of here though. We'll see.
Yeah. Let me know. It's nothing like too crazy, but I really like this idea. Instead of us being at the alcove, I'm going to say that we are very near the beach where the party like woke up. This is like in the like immediacy like thereafter. And we see a very like neutral faced Wraith looking through a pair of like these digital binoculars, and he holds them up to Kira's little panther eyes, and Kira looks through, and then that's when the camera would zoom through it, and we would see that on the beach, some safe distance away, the waves are lapping up on the shore. It's a very pretty beach. It's given like Destiny Island from Kingdom Hearts. It looks very, very calm. It's got like a and you can see that there's something that is kind of like lapping against the shore, but from the distance immediately, it's not apparent what this object is or what these things are. And as Wraith returns the goggles back to his eyes, he zooms in even further. And that's when it goes from being this kind of blur lapping in the water to a close-up.
What you have noticed while you've been here, slowly but surely, with the files that you have found hidden into this code, there are small, inexplainable, but small variables that don't add up. What you do see in these photos, that there are severed hands with and it looks like there is digital data that is coming out and stretching from trying to reattach to itself. There are some notions that with these deaths, there's also been another fallen who has come through, and they are also missing a hand, or that there is reports of a person who has gone missing, and then inexplicably, the next day, there was a fallen attack. And it seems as if all of these pieces are not put together in the proper way, and that things are still missing in this information. But there is still enough information that you can start piecing threads together and holding onto those threads to pull them and figure out where things go. As we all have moved back into the city of Solion, which is where Auntie Tamisa's bar is, which is where you all have sort of put up your home base for now. Most days, we will find Vestion passed out in Hex's room, and as sort of ships in the night, but still with the care of a friend, there would be a blanket placed on to Vestion as they are trying to get some rest as Hex is getting out into the world. Echo has gone ahead and taken up an apartment about a little bit up the street, that is close enough that if anybody needs them, that they are able to be there. And we have Wraith, who bounces between this alcove home of theirs to just be able to meet with everybody. Hex, when you come back to Auntie Tamisa's bar this time, what were you doing today specifically that made you call everybody back?
I think Hex legit started a corkboard with red tape wall in their place. And they like wrote out, okay, main objective circled hella times in big ass red, win the game, all caps, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, skull emoji, heart emoji, bomb emoji. And then from there it's like lined out like what would need to take place for us to win. Hex is thinking like, okay, the faction I'm a part of is like the Thieves Guild, so the Thieves Guild would have to win at this war, or like, you know, beat the fucking Dark Spawn or whatever, the Dark Army. Or we could go with like this, you know, the Kingdom's faction, because we know they got hella soldiers. We could just align ourselves with like the city. And then they like have a section for other ideas. They're like ALT, comma, what if we side with the Dark Army and disrupt the balance of the world? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Eye emoji, like yellow emoji blowing smoke or whatever. And then the like next to that one under like all ideas is that, okay, what if we focus efforts on gaining admin privileges? What if we, because they've definitely been on like the fucking like Reddit threads where people are like, there's an Easter egg on fucking like X52 coordinate, like Y, whatever. And you gotta go behind the cave, and then you gotta like look across from the third rock, and then look up, and then you'll see the Easter egg type shit, right? I feel like they've definitely seen those things, but they have never, like, they've read about it online, but they've never gone to do it themselves. And they're kind of the mind like, okay, what if we actually go to these places and discover something? What if they're like, I don't know, trials maybe, or like they're just trying to figure out like what would disrupting this, maybe getting out, because nowhere written, I will say, is like with the purpose of escaping. It is just like tossing around ideas and documenting like what we know for a fact. And what we know for, and like one of the things that they have up there for a fact is I like Noah is here, how, why, question mark, question mark, question mark.
As you are heading back towards the Black Lagoon, and you've sent out your notifications for everyone to meet back, as you all are coming in and converging onto the Black Lagoon, this is when you notice something.
Something pretty? Fly hatching?
Before you can open the door into the Black Lagoon and you look through the window, you can see that Auntie Tamise and the other patrons inside are frozen again.
And we're all at the door, like...
Yep, everybody's at the door.
It's not too late to just keep going that way.
I think we should go in. I think we should try to get information from her. Maybe just talk to her. I wouldn't be good at that personally, but maybe one of y'all could. I don't know.
Is Hex saying this right now? Because if so, I feel like Vestion's like, didn't we try this already? Talking to her? Because I don't think that went so well the first time.
I don't disagree with you. And like while they're talking, they're definitely like opening up their revolver, like putting in like new bullets. Like I don't like disagree with you at all.
Vestion's
like clicking back or whatever. But just in case, we can try that first, you know, and then I don't know. I've been thinking, it's on the board. I was gonna show y'all the board, but I've been thinking, what if, you know, we could get access the way she has access? Could we find back doors in the world somehow? There's always a back door somehow, somewhere.
Wraith, have you tried anything like that? Finding some sort of a backdoor for admin access?
I mean, I have tried. I have some above table. Queon, how much would I like have access to, or what am I able to see or not see?
A back door into here? I don't. There wouldn't be one, honestly. Like, if there would be, you would have to hack into and create one yourself.
Well, I've tried, but if there is a way in, I haven't found it. So,
what about those like codes we got in the beginning? The like code that help us like get access.
All of our brain cells, the three, like all of our brain cells just connected in real time. But that's why I was here like, But like, ooh, where Hex is right now with shit, like them gaining access to a well of power. I don't know. I was just thinking, like, shit, we got one more session left, and I still ain't used this bad boy.
Sure do.
Right.
Oh, I'm pulling this. Listen. Pulling all the stops for today, for this session and next one. So strap in, motherfuckers.
Maybe we need to do that first before considering going inside there and facing her again.
Y'all ain't even see the person yet. Y'all already scared.
I mean, there's one of a few.
I ain't even seen the person yet. Y'all already scared.
You're right. All right, maybe we should check out this scenario.
I'm just
first.
listen.
I think we can handle whatever.
Let's get the scenery out, and then we can. Yeah, if we feel that is what needs to be done, then.
Maybe we could just arm up, equip all our weapons already, just in case. And then,
like daggers into their thigh holsters. Totally.
All right. I'm going to go in first. If I freeze, don't come in after me.
Thank you for being the self-sacrifice one.
Hex is like...
I'm going to walk in the door.
Can I put a whoopee cushion on the floor before Echo's feet without him noticing?
roll a dexterity pool. And it's about whoever gets more successes. Actually, make it your willpower, Echo. I'm sorry. Make it your willpower.
So, okay, I gotta reroll one of these. I rolled 2 3s. I rolled a 6. And I rolled a 1 on my class die.
I got a 5, a 5, and a 2.
All right, cool. Praise God. Praise God. So you go to put your whoopee cushion down, but Echo does catch you.
I like my foot stops like right above the whoopee cushion, and I look down. I just sigh and shake my head and kick it out of the way and keep walking.
Damn it! They definitely hated this. Did not work. And also I have a cross on my 1.
Yeah. We're gonna. Yeah. I won't ruin you yet.
Be a mouse tool for later for you. Please, by all means.
Cool. So as you open the door and walk in, you see that it looks as if Auntie Tamise was about to pour a completely separate drink. And as you walk in, you hear in a very chipper tone, Atticus, hi. Can between you and Bluu, please explain what Monica looks like.
Oh, you ate with that, babe. You ate with that one, okay? Because I'm genuinely surprised.
It's got spice. It's got flavor. It's got cheese.
So Monica is like 5'2", like little chocolate thing with braids, thick as all get out, with like a gap in her teeth.
I think a pixie haircut too.
I can see it.
Yeah. They told me you were here, but I never thought that you would be coming to their place. Hi. And as everybody else like will funnel in, she's like, "Hi, I'm Monique." Well, no, I keep forgetting that we've like her name is fucking Monica. Hi, my name is Monica.
Vestion looks over and goes, "Oh shit."
Oh my god! Hi!
Wow.
And she like hugs you.
Hex is like staring at Vestion so
Vestion's like hands up, like
Hex is not fucking smiling. This is definitely a smiley ha 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 ass nigga, but they have like wide eye, like straight line as their mouth, like staring.
Oh my god!
And then they look at Addie and then like look back at her and looks around the room and they're like, "Are you doing this?"
This? Come outside. Don't worry about them. Come on, let's go outside.
No, I'm fine where I'm at.
No,
actually.
Listen, Alt, I understand that we've had our differences and...
It's Altair to you.
Fine.
That's familiar.
Altair. I understand we've had our differences, but I promise I'm not here to cause any strife or drama in any of your lives. I promise.
Any more strife or drama?
Then why are you here?
I just wanted to come see you all. I have heard so much that you guys are here, and they told me that you definitely wouldn't come back here, but I knew you would. I was just waiting.
Who's they?
What?
Of course.
Oh, so you're working with her?
I thought that was obvious.
Oh, okay. Hex pulls out their phone. Okay, that makes sense. I'm about to shoot this bitch. Actually, you're with the Maya? Cool. Good to fucking know. No, I'm not playing this damn game with her. What? Yo, movie. Yeah, Hex is absolutely gonna fucking try to shoot right now.
All right.
Because I think she was talking. They're like, "Oh, I must be like glitching or something. Something is clearly wrong with my code because my worst fears are manifesting in front of me." But then she said that, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not. This bitch is crazy." Got it. Let's just remedy that. Yeah. What can I fucking?
Had to get off Race Neck. Okay.
You ain't have to step on mine.
He said 2 for 1 though.
Listen, it was either because it depended on if Vestion was gonna open the door or if one of you two were gonna open the door.
Ooh. Okay, I love it.
Okay. But yeah, okay. All right. Listen, we don't have to do this. It's nothing crazy. I understand that the last time we talked, it was a little bit of not an altercation, but I kind of got in between your relationship, and that might be the reason why you're not together now. That's not the point. What I...
So, I think
Uh,
At this point, Echo's going to take one step forward.
mm-hmm.
You aren't the reason our relationship ended. I am.
That part.
Addie.
One. But it was the fact that you were so gung-ho about it that has me fucked up. So
What do you want from me? And I'm sorry.
we could.
I want to know what you want.
Oh, I guess I'm the one who's supposed to either take you back with me or kill you here.
Back where?
Oh, to Amaya.
Okay.
Oh, so she sent her guard dog after us. Is that what I'm understanding correctly?
Yes, actually.
Okay, yeah, let's step outside. Hex like holds the door open. Okay, got it. No, I'm not doing this shit with you. And how are you all doing this? What's your admin password?
That is not your business. And then she follows you out and is just like in the street, just like looking and waiting for you all to come out.
Oh God. I knew coming back here was bad.
Okay, actually, a question for you, Dan.
I might have an answer.
Do I get the sense that she has maybe the same level of access as, like, let's say Joshua would?
In the grand scheme of things, she doesn't have that much power. She, like, if Amaya can control a continent and Joshua would be able to control a city. Well, a state. She can control a city.
Okay. I think Hex will like walk out, stand opposite of her down like a long line, truly like cowboy show off vibes. Like little thing like rolls by. But I think they do say, it doesn't have to be either of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not trapped here with us?
No. I'm here by my choice.
What are you getting out of this that you would even want to be involved?
I don't think that's any of your business, actually. What I want has nothing to do with you. Or any of you, actually. You all are a means to an end for me.
Feeling is mutual. Hex will try to use their abilities.
You go right ahead. She's also going to use her abilities. And
oh my God, I'm so curious what the fuck she is.
When you begin to use your abilities, you hear, and it also reminds you of Echo. She calls out very simply and very plainly, Auntie Tamise. And the voice booms, but her face, it kind of distorts and it looks as if like greenish colored energy, like teal color, starts to swirl outside of it. And it looks as if the energy starts taking the form of like snakes and coiling. And as she is using this power, Auntie Tamise walks out and has put down her anything that she was holding, the cup, the mug, all of it gone, and sort of just walks out and stands directly next to her. What are you doing, Hex?
Fuck.
I'm gonna give you a very short time to say that you're going to do something, or she will continue doing what she has to do.
Hex is going to try, like, seeing her bring out Auntie Tamis, I think they just kind of flare with anger. Like, their hair bristles as if it's something like running around inside of it. It like gets like a bit poofier. And what is the emotion? Not shock and like not disappointment. Maybe a mixture, I guess, of the both, as they like stare her down. And yeah, I think they pull out their revolvers and they're like, I don't even think they say anything, because this is not a funny, silly, goofy moment for my nigga Hex right now. I think they were probably like coming up with so many jokes in their head to say, like, knock knock bitch, you know, or something fucking stupid, but they can't even like bring themselves to say anything. They're like, okay, maybe I can disrupt her concentration. And like remembering what Addie shared about his ability and seeing that she seems to be using it in the same way. Hex will like pull out their revolvers, point them at her, switch to setting to treat, and yeah, they're gonna try to shoot with their little funny little goofy bullet guys.
I have a question for you. Remember that one you rolled?
Oh my fucking god. Yeah, I remember that one I rolled.
And you remember how it was on one of your crosses?
Yeah, I do.
As you go to make this shot, it feels as if everything in you is like riding on this. Your favorite NPC right now is just like being used as like a ploy, as a taunt, just to aggravate you more. And as you go to let off this round, Monica moves and shifts places with Auntie Tamis, and your shot goes square into Auntie Tamis. But she does not fall. I didn't think you had it in you. What a shock. And what you see is that Monica goes and her hand is like dripped in the same darkness that you can see within Echo, and shoves it into Auntie Tamis and pulls out her core. And with her core in her hand, what it looks like and what you all see is that a jolt of dark lightning runs up into the core and shatters it. And with that, Auntie Tamis starts to move and convulse, and her body twists and turns, and things start to crack and shake. And as things continue to move in her body this way, she also begins to grow larger and begins to coalesce, and like her mouth, her maw begins to grow. And as you are watching Tamis become a beast of destruction, before you stands a giant. In the terms of size mechanics, she is gargantuan, crocodilian beast that is in front of you, that once was Auntie Tamis.
Thank you for listening to World Replica, a RPG actual play produced by BaddieBards. Leave us a comment, rate us, and toss a coin in our Ko-fi. See you next time, players. Logging off.